So, hello and welcome to this video where we're going to do an Airbnb clone with complete functionality. I don't know if we're going to just do this in just one stream, but I think we will do it in a day or something. I don't know. I'm going to do the basics today, and then we will continue on the project maybe tomorrow or some other day. So I think we can just get started. First of all, what I'm going to do is just simply create our next project. So let's say npm create next app at latest. I can zoom in here if you guys can see it. I'm typing down here in the terminal. Say yes. It's called what do we call it? AirBnb Mern Stack. I don't want to use TypeScript. I want to use this, and now it's installing. Let me open it. It's a bit slow, my computer. I have it now. Just 1 second, guys. Perfect. So we have the project here. So first we have to cd into the project Airbnb Mern Stack. And then I think what we're going to do is install Tailwind, because we'll be using Tailwind as this CSS. We do this by saying npm install Tailwind CSS post CSS. Zoom in here again if you guys can see it. npm install the Tailwind CSS post CSS and then auto prefixer. Perfect. Now we want to create the Tailwind config file. We say npx Tailwind CSS init and then p. Perfect. We go here, content, and then we say that the pages is going to be changed with this, something like this. I've done this 100 times soon, so I pretty much know what to do. And we can just copy this, put it here. To next line, and then instead of pages say components. Perfect. I hope you can see it. It's pretty big on my screen, so. So that's it. We also need to change in this global CSS, just delete what is here and then say Tailwind base, Tailwind utilities, and Tailwind components. Perfect. And now our Tailwind should be working. We can just test it. Just delete all this. Do anything. Oops. Like this. and then we run the application, npm run dev. It goes to localhost to see if it's working. And up here we have the Tailwind, this header that I just created. So that's good. Now let's start by doing the navigation bar. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Yeah. So let's do it like this. Let's say, oh, let's really hide this music. Just 1 second. We say here, we say header. Or we probably just say like navbar or something. And then up here we say import navbar from component / navbar. We want to create another folder now, not in there, inside of this, called components. We want this to have this navbar. Now I have to say a big N here also. And inside of this we say, I cannot do this on my computer. Let's just copy this. We have to delete this also from here. We say navbar. We delete this. And now it should be good. What we can do now, we can also create, we also want the models folder. We want, what do we want? Maybe some utilities. We can also create a constant, but I don't know if we're going to be using it. That's pretty much how I set my projects up. I do this pretty much every time I start a new project. So let's see. Let's go to this navbar and then start by creating like the main header component. We can just delete this and say header. We do class name and then we say something like, maybe we want it to be all the way up front. We can do grid. Say grid calls of 6 or something. PG wide. Border of 0 on the bottom. To the meeting screen, we want the bottom to be 2. We want Excel border to then we want maybe the border to be gray. I think that's a good idea. Let's say padding of 4 and then padding on the X of 10. Perfect. Up here we have our navbar. As you can see, it's gone when we go to the small screen. Perfect. Just put it in the right place again, like this. So inside of this navbar, I think in the components here, we're going to create another folder called maybe navs, navigation. We are going to put Yeah, what are we going to put? We're going to put the search bar in here, left bar. Just copy this for now. Delete this and say div instead, and then say here left bar search. So now we want to actually make it look like a header. We can just in here say div. Let's do a class name also. Inside of this I want an image. I want the image of the logo of the application. I actually don't have a logo yet, so let's just go to Canva and create one. Canva logo. We can just do a really simple one just to like logo house maybe, because it's a rental. Just take this one. Just delete everything. Make this bigger. Put it in the center. All the way to the edge. And then let's make it... Oh, not like that. Grab... okay, this one, we're not going to use this one. Hello, Nikolai, hello. My boy. Let's just do this one, just anything, it doesn't really matter. Just make this red. Not this color, just make it, let's just keep it black, that's fine. Download this. Fine. We want to put it inside of the folder where, inside of the public. So this is going to be our logo. I don't know, it's you can put anything inside of the logo, so it doesn't really matter. We say inside of this image, from this next image, we say source. Then we say, let's just rename this and say logo. Logo.png. This is a missing required width property. We say, I don't want it to be big. In here we say width 40 maybe, and then height 40. Then we should probably also give it an L, but we don't have to write anything. It's for SEO. If you are going to optimize for Google, you should probably put something in here. So now we have our logo up here. It's perfect. We could probably do some styling on this. Let's say class name, we want it to... I have two class names now. We want it to be relative. We want items to sender. We want it to be just one column. We want to be the height of 10. We want it to be a link, so we can just say cursor pointer. Margin Y automatic, and then something like, okay, let's just do this for now. That's good. So now you can see when I hover it, it's a logo, it's a click. Not because it's not a link yet, but that doesn't matter. do another div here. We say class name of 4. We say MD, let's make it a bit smaller here. And then we say on the largest screen we want it to be 3 columns. In this we want to import the navbar search that we just created, this one. And then let's go create this one so we can actually do something in here. Yeah. Let me see. What do we want here? We want some kind of date picker, something with the guests, and where in the world it's going to be. Okay. So first, I think we're going to do this class of this outer div. We can say flex because we want the items to be side by side. We can do something like justify sender. Make the border black. Then say rounded border 2. And then the height to be full. So here we have the box that we're going to be using. Maybe we don't want it to be black. We can do something like blue 500. That's a nice color. Yeah. Keep in mind, guys, that we're using Tailwind, and I really recommend using this because it's just way easier to keep your styling inside of these divs, in my opinion. Now we want to do some divs inside of this. Let's just make one real quick and then say, this one should be 2 out of 12, maybe something like that. Then let's do, I think I'm going to be using Mantine. It's a simple library that lets you get like buttons and stuff like that really easy. I will show you guys. Mantine hooks, Mantine React. Yes. So open another terminal and then just put this in. Oh, I just installed. You have to say cd AirBnB Mern Stack first, and then put it here, because we just put everything in the previous folder. Now we are in the folder that we actually wanted to be in. We can close this, and now we can pretty much just use it. Button from Mantine core, exactly. We want something inside the button. We can say, I know we want a p tag because we want this filter thing. Oh. We probably also want some kind of icon. Let's do React icons. npm install this. The same way that we just did cd into Airbnb. Mern Stack, and then in here npm install React icons, and then save it. Close this again and see if we can do something with this. We probably can't like that, so we have to import IO filter from React icons. /io5. Let's go to our application. There's nothing yet, it's fine, but we don't have any errors, so that's what we need. So what do we do now? Now we probably want to style this button. Let's say size first, medium. Let's say we can work with opening anything. Let's say class name. Oh. Let's give the width to full. Let's say BG black maybe. Yeah, that's fine. Or some other blue, maybe cyan. Slate is cool. Yeah, this is better. Slate 800, that's a cool color. And then say rounded none. Let's also do hover BG slate 600. Rounded none. Rounded 1 medium. Flex and height of full. Perfect, that's looking good. We also want this p tag to have some class name. This is HTML4. I think I did a spelling rounded 1 MD. Okay, this is fine. Create another div down here and just try to put anything because I just want to test this real quick. So that's good. So what do we want down here? Well, I think we are going to put all of this in here instead. No, this is fine. But maybe we come back to this. Yeah, let's do inside of this. Let's create another div saying flex item sender space x of 4 justify end gray 500 md flex xl flex and then call span of 2. Yeah, that's good, I think. Inside of this, we are then going to be putting another of these buttons that we have for Mantine. We say size LG. We say class name BG blue 500. Oh, I have to import this here also. So over here, that's good. Just put this. Just open Airbnb again because I just want to see they have it here. Let's just do rent out. Let's just do whatever that there says. Airbnb home, rent out house. Just do this. Perfect. We also want another div here in the end after this button, but I think I'm going to wait with this because it's there's a bit more in it. So we do it when we actually have this. It's going to be like this drop down where I can see if you're logged in or anything. You can go to the menu and stuff like that. So let's just do like, yeah, let's do nothing for now. But imagine that there's a drop down here. Or maybe I should just create it now, I don't know. Okay, yeah, let's just do it. This is going to be a bit different because I want to do it as functions. We do something like that and then say, and then we say nothing. Yeah, let's wait with this because it's a bit more, I want two different drop downs if you're logged in or if you're not logged in. So it's a bit more like complex, but we're going to create it, don't worry guys. So let's go back to this nav bar. We have a button, we have a div, then we have another div. We need to give this div some width. And then say that the height should be full. Inside of this we want something like an autocomplete. Also something from Mern, so we don't have to create it first. We can just close this. In, let's say, some placeholder, say where. Let's just try to do this to see if it works. Width full, height full. I'm not mapping anything, so I don't know why it says this. Mern autocomplete. Mern core. Do I have to put data inside of my... Yeah. Do it like this. India or America. Oh, this is actually... Yeah. Let's just give it an icon. We have this IO filter. Let's say if there is something like IO search. Yes. Perfect. We can set the size to large. Yeah. Let's do another class name in this. I think that's the best way to do it. We say something like, oh, not like that. Icon should be the padding of 3. And then input should have a border, should be rounded, large. When we focus it, we want the border to be black. We want rounded R none. Rounded L none. And then height to be 4. Let me see, what did I do here? Class names, of course, that's my bad. So that's good. So now, let me see if we put this bigger. That's fine. This is 3, this is 2. Yeah, I think this is good. Now we want to create another div down here. Let's say class name. It's 3 out of 12. We want it to be a date range picker from Mantine. This one. Oh, that's dash. We import this. Import date range picker. From Mantine. Add Mantine. Dates. I'm pretty sure we have to install this also, so let me just find it. We go to Mantine dates. Just install this in another terminal, say cd AirBnb Mern Stack. Perfect. Now we can just close this again, and then we just put in our date range picker. Just close this. We need to give in some values. Let's just say placeholder test. Let's give it some class. We don't need this. We can say size to be large. We can do let's see if this works. Of course this have to be like this. This is actually looking pretty good. So now we have the state range picker. This is where, let's say we want to go to India, we just type in India, perfect, and then we should search. We want something else also. I think this is fine for this. We want to put some functionality on it, but we don't need it yet. We can create another div. Let's give this a bit more. So we say, or a bit less. 2 out of 12. We want a select because we want to select. Oh, that's my bad. A maintain because we want to select. We want to select how many guests that are going to be renting this house. We just say size large. We can say placeholder of 2. I need to map something. Just to clearable. Let's do data of an array and then say value 1, label 1. Perfect. Maybe we want to say guests here. Maybe we don't want to say filter here. That looks too good. Just delete this. So what we want is we want this to be like a pop-up so that we can choose between these filters. This is where we're going if we want to do a quick search. This is the dates that we're going to be traveling, and this is just the amount of guests. We can just do some more. So you can see we have all of these. Just one more like 10 plus or something. 10 plus. Just so you get the idea. Now we want to do, just clean this. We want to do the search bar. So we say class name 2 out of 12. We want a button. We wanted to say search. We want to say size medium. It's here. You just don't see it. We want to do class name BG blue 500. Maybe just black, that's nice also. And then we say when we hover it, we want the background to be blue 500. That's the idea. We want it to be rounded none. We want rounded radius medium and then height full. That's our button. Maybe we should make this slate like the other one. I cannot remember what I put it. Yeah, this is nice. So that's our search button. So we say maybe India. We say from this to this and then the amount of guests. I know it looks a bit scuffed right now, but it's going to be better. So let's go back to our navigation bar. I think this is what we need for now in this. So what do we want now? We want to create these drop downs that I was talking about. We create a new folder called drop downs. We say dropdown.js and then logged in dropdown logged in.js. So here we're going to be using some of React's own stuff. We want to use some use state. We want to do a model. When we press this, we want something to open so we can actually log in. So maybe we wait a bit more to create this. We can go to our models and just right now create a user model. So we're going to be using Mongoose. So we actually need to install this. It's pretty simple. We say npm install Mongoose. We just start doing it. Mongoose from Mongoose. We say const user schema. New Mongoose. We want an email from our users. We say type string. Required false. We say trim true. So now we can just copy this and just do a few just to make sure we get what we need from our user. We want a name. We want a password. What do we need? I think we want a role. We could also do some phone and stuff, but let's just keep it simple for now and then just do like this. Here in the end we can say something because we want the timestamps. It's just really smart that Mongoose have this. Timestamps that like this true. Then we export default. User model. Mongoose. In here we say user model. User schema. And then what do we want to call it? We just want to call it like users or something, that's fine. So that's pretty much it for creating a user. Export default Mongoose models. User model, Mongoose model. Yeah, this is good. So what we want to do now is maybe go and create the database that we're going to be using. We go to MongoDB. Just sign in. I'm just going to be using with my Google. I already have an account, but I'm going to be creating a new organization because you can only have one free database in each organization. MongoDB Atlas. Let's just call it Digital Corner YouTube. Say next. I'm not going to be adding any members for now. So right away in here, in this, let's create a new project. Say Digital Corner YouTube Airbnb. Create. We want to build our database. We select this free shared one. we just pick whatever is close to us. For me, it's Stockholm. We change the cluster name. I just want to call it Airbnb clone test or something. Just Airbnb clone. And then I'll just create this cluster. I want to put a username here and a password. For username, I'm just going to say my digital corner. I don't know if you guys can see it, so it's fine. I'm just going to put my password, just anything. I'm going to be creating this user. So that's me. And then I want to do nothing down here, because then we can do all IPs. Can't you just say like this? Let's just not do anything. Let's just go ahead to network access. I'm not going to save this. I go to my database. I see here Airbnb clone. First we want to check I have been using this for a long time, so I can't really remember. Yeah, like this. So now I have access from anywhere, so anyone can connect to my database. And that's fine for this project. Okay, so I go to my database. I have downloaded MongoDB Atlas. You guys should probably download this also. It's really smart if you're using MongoDB. I click this new connection. Oh, I don't have to. I have it here. I just click here. Connect MongoDB Atlas. Click here, I have MongoDB Atlas. Then you just copy this string. You put it in here, and for now, you put your password in here that you just created for the user. I'm not going to show this because that's my personal password. So here I have my project. What we also want is to create a file called .env.local. Inside of this we want to define a MongoDB API, or like this. And in here we do the same. We put in here our password. I'm going to do it again. So perfect. And now you probably have to restart your project before this works. So we can pretty much just close this. We have our project here. We go to we can close this. So let's get back to where we came from. We just created this. Let's see what it says here. It's fine. We want to now make this drop down so that we can log in. But before I do that, I'm going to be in the components. I'm going to create a folder called account. Inside of account, I want to create login.js, and I also want to create account.js. Let me just see you guys real quick. I think what we can do is, because we're going to be using something called Next.js for this, we go to pages, we go to API, we just delete this, it's useless. And then you have to create a folder in the same way that I do it, because otherwise it will not work. We create a folder called auth, and inside of auth we create like this next auth.js. Just to make sure it's in here, we can just do like this. Perfect. And this is actually just pretty simple. Or maybe it's not simple, but oops. We want to import some stuff first. We can just import Next.auth. We actually want to install this. Also. We go back to Next.auth. We import credentials provider from Next.auth providers /credentials. Yes. We don't want this in curly brackets because we're not using TypeScript. We import some kind of database. Let's just call it DB Connect. It's going, we can just create it now. Inside of our utils, we say db.js. Here we're creating the connection that we're going to be using for our database. We say mongoose. Let's just say what we want this to be called, the same as in our environment local. So let me just check real quick because I have my password in there. Yes. MongoDB underscore URI process.environment.mongodb URI, and then we say if MongoDB URI throw new error, please define the MongoDB URI environment variable inside.env.local. We also say let cached equals global.mongoose. We say if cached, then global.mongoose. Where's the music now? we do con null, and then a promise of null also. We need an async function called dbconnect, because that's the one we're going to be calling when we want to connect to our database. We say if catch.con. Oh. Then we can return catch.con. We say if catch dot promise const options buffer comments. This is buffer. Catched dot promise. You don't really have to understand what's going on here. It's just like basic stuff when we are going to be working with our database. We say something like return mongoose. Let me clean this. I can't really. And then in the end, we export default db connect, because that's it. Let me see, this looks a bit wrong. If catch promise mongoose connect MongoDB or options, then mongoose. Okay, this is fine. I think this is fine. If it's not, then we just go back and change it. And now we can, yeah, what can we do? We can go back to our next out, and then we can say in here where it is. It's a bit weird place right now, but utils.db. We also need to import something called bcrypt, because we want to encrypt the password. We import the user model that we created. It's also in a weird place. Models./user model. Bcrypt. I'm pretty sure just called something like bcrypt. Bcrypt, like this. npm install bcrypt. Let's see if I get any errors. It looks fine. See how our project is going. It's fine. We now want to do like a big function for this next out. First we want to define which pages we're going to be using and which functions that this is going to be calling. Sign out. Error. We now want a session. We want to say how long the session can be. And this corresponds to 60 days or something. Just do some of these. We could do some providers if you want to do some, maybe some Google login or something, but we're not going to do that. we are instead going to be putting inside of here the credentials provider that we imported, and then we want to say async authorize credentials. You want to await db connect. We can say const user await user model. We say if user throw new error email exists. Const password check await bcrypt compare credentials password user password, and then we just say end. So what we're doing is we're checking the password if it's like the bcrypt we want. First we want to check if the credentials password is the same as the user password. Under this we say if the password check is not correct, we throw new error, and then just say password error. We can return the ID, which is the user ID .toString. We can return the email, which is the user.email. Return the name. And the role, which is the user role. I think this is good. Now we want to do some callbacks. These callbacks are going to be for these functions, the sign in function and sign out function. We want to make an async sign in. With user account profile credentials. Just open this. Let's say if account provider. We actually don't need to do this. I think for callbacks I'm just going to copy some old code because there's no reason to do this. I'll leave the code in the description for you guys to find it, but you can also pause the video here and then just take a look. Yeah. I'm just going to do it like this. Perfect. So this should be correct. Now I also have the Facebook and Google provider. If that's something you guys want to use, you can do it like this. The notes is in Danish, but you can just translate it with Google Translate or something. So what do we need now? Now we need to create these I think we can create the API function for the user first. So inside pages, API, we can create a new folder, call it user. I want to do a function that gets the user so we can see if we actually use the user. Let's call it get user safe. I want to do an default async function, call it getUser, say res, oh, and then in here do this. This is a mistake. getUser. We want to do the DB connect. To get the connection to the database, we want a constant called a session. We want to do get session. Which is something from the next out session, await get session. Like this. I think we have to do like this also because it's from React actually. Now we can do a try catch. Inside this we say result and we await the user model to find by ID. Session user.id. We say res JSON result. We do catch the error, saying res status 400 JSON status error message. Let's just do test or something, just to get a message if we don't get the callback. So I think this is good. We also need something to create the user. I think we're going to do this directly inside of this. Create user. This is actually also pretty simple. Let's just export default async function, add user, let's say reg res. What's the problem? Let's just put something in here and see if it works. User request body. We await the DB connect, just like we did the last time. Export default async, of course. We do constant of checking user. We check if the user already exists by the email. We say if user, what did I call it? Check user. Then we say constant salt await bcrypt generate salt of 10. So bcrypt generates a password that is going to be replacing the actual password that the user use, because we want the password to be safe. We say password await bcrypt dot hash user password, like this. Let's just put these. We say const new user email user email password. Sorry guys, it's just like you can just copy the code. It's just basic API calls, and you will learn these when you start working with stuff like this. Let's see, new user email, password, role, user, have user, password here. Thought bigquery, password. This is good. So now say REST JSON, result. Let's say else. We want to make the error. We want a message saying already exists. Then we want to REST JSON result. I think this is good. User rec. Dot body, of course. So perfect. So that's the API call that's going to be creating the user in our database with this model that we created before. So at some point we are going to be able to see our users inside of this. Yeah. So now we can probably just create these account models or whatever we called them. We want Axios. We also want some SVR for our project. So we're just going to be installing these. It's just like really simple. I don't know why I go to Google every time. To use the SWR stuff and to use the provider, we want to wrap our app. So we go to pages and app.js, and then we import the SWR config from SWR. We also import a session provider from Next.js. We wrap it here. Let's say session, and then this we can just put in the button. Inside of this component, here we want to say page props session, like this, I think. And then we also want to say return. Why did it delete this? Return. What did I do wrong here? I have this. Okay. I want this SWR config here. Let's just close it. We need to pass in some value for this. We want something called a fetcher, which takes args, then fetches these args, then res.json. This is a function. Like this. So I think this should be good. Now we can use the session and we can use our SVR, it's just something to call API called simple. It's really smart, you'll see it. We want to create this create account. Yeah, let's just do it. It's a bit long, but I think it's fine. First, we can start by creating our imports. Let's do a fragment and a use state. Okay, we don't need to do this. Let's just do export default function create account, and then do some props in here. Let me just think. We are going to be using something called a transition route. I don't know if this is a import. I think it's from headless UI React npm. Yeah, so we install this. Then we can pretty much just import it. Like this. We need something called use state to be imported. We can just do it here. Oh, we actually don't need it here. We need it in... Let's just close some of these to make it simple. Let's remove these drop downs. We only have the navbar. I think it's... So I'm not really using this use state, so I don't know why I get this error. But we can just import it here if that helps. We need to use a fragment, and we also need a use state. I don't really think this is going to help. Dialog transition.root. Let me try to just put a div here to see if that's the error, or if I'm completely wrong. Just put this in here also. Cannot read properties of null, reading use state. This is not what I need. Let me go to app. This is useless. Oh no, it's not. Let me see, guys, just 1 second. Let me just figure this out. Create user maybe. Just copy this. This is fine. This is an old. It have to be one of these that already are open, so we can just try to shut it down real quick and then open it again. I need to be crypt at least. And just CD in AirBnb, Mern Stack. Oh, I didn't install any of these, that's the problem. Axios. What else? I need headless UI. I need did I have React icons? Oh, I had. Next auth. Mongoose, yes. So this is probably Yeah, this is the same. So I'm not 100% sure why it's not working, but it should be working now, I'm pretty sure. The DB async function. Is that the only problem? Perfect, now it's working again. So we have this. So where did we came from? We want to create this drop downs, I guess. Sorry guys, I fucked up, I guess. But let's just do it now. First we want this drop down that's going to be there always. We want to pass in some props. Let's just say here login bar, set login bar, use state, imported, put in props. Like this. This is good. We want to return a div with a menu from maintain core. We want to pass in with arrow up here. We say position bottom end. We can do something like offset 18. We do a transition, rotate right, and then a transition duration of 150. We want to do a menu target. We say button, we import it from maintain, and then we just say bars. Let's see if there's something from React. EO bars, menu. IO5. IO menu, that's perfect. We can just real quick give this some class name. Saying the height should be 6, and we can just make the text gray. Inside of our navbar, we can just return something to show us that it's actually working. Let me do it real quick. We say class name. Flex item sender. Space x2, border of 1, padding of 2. We want to do it rounded medium, transition, ease in, out. Let's do some hover, shadow medium, and then cursor pointer. I think we want to do something here first, say like user ID. If that's null, we just do this whole function. And now it says we cannot find user or something, because that's what it should say. So inside of this div, we want to pass the drop down. And now I should get an error. I don't know why I don't get an error. If the user ID is null, then we return this drop down. I don't know if it's fucked. I guess we want to import some functionality to check if our user is logged in first. That's pretty much what we need. So say use user. And we want to create a function for this inside of our utils. So we say import user. Use user, of course. From how far is this back? Like one, maybe utils, or maybe one more. Just one more. Let's make some functions. And then something called user. So what we want in here, we pretty much just want to check if our user is or check the respond of what the user is doing. We can do accounts, say data, user. So SWR is just like Axios but on steroids, so it's pretty smart for something like this because it's really simple. I can do a lot of codes in just really short. Maybe just like this. So this is raw. So now I should probably get a response. We can just check here in the terminal. Slash user not found, okay. Oh. Undefined. Just try to refresh this. So I get an error, and that is because, yeah, why is that? It's because, let me just think. I think we have to put some stuff in our let me try like this. I don't know if this is working still, but we can just try at least. What I wanted to is just print this this drop down that I want here. I'm still getting an error. I'll just copy this to this. Drop down, logged in. Go back to this. And say return. If user ID equals null, we return this div. Else return. I think they're the same. Drop down, logged in. Let me save this. Just keep this open for now because so what did go wrong? Use user, use SVR, API, user get user safe. Bad request. Get user safe. I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with my imports, so what I'm going to do is be doing something in my next config. I think we're going to put this in here. And in our JSON, create something called JS config.json, and in this we paste this, so we don't have to like write like this for each import. We need to reset our server for this though. Perfect. Notice we don't have any errors anymore. Let's go back to this. The drop downs we can say let me see. Menu, main type, menu target. Let's do the menu drop down. And inside of this we want some menu items. Let's just do one for now. Something called register or create user, create account. We do a class name for this, say rounded XL. We also want something for this button. Let's just do some hover BG wide. Yes, that's fine. We need to create some. Oh, I did that. So here down here we need to create like the login bar and say login bar, set login bar. We also need to do create account. I need this. The name session is defined multiple times in our what? Create account. This is fine. Menu target, menu drop down, that's good. Let's go here to this nav bar and let's just for now just remove this. We can also remove this, And here is our drop down. I think we can just put in our login also, because we're going to create it now. Just copy this for now. The name create account is defined multiple times. It's not. Oh, it is. Login. Perfect. So now we should be able to do this though. So I cannot. If so, what is the response that I'm getting? Okay, we just delete this for now. So here we have this, and now we just need to create this create account thing. So we can actually get an account into the system so we can read anything. Because right now, what I want to do in here is say if the account user ID is null, because we are not logged in, it's fine. We just print this simple drop down, this one. But if we're logged in, we want the drop down login so that we can actually check if we're logged in. So let's go to create account. And in here we want to do a maintain form. So we need to install this. See if it goes, it came into our project, so it's fine. We can close this for now. So let's just, we need a constant for a rolling button. We call this useState false. We need a success. useState. We don't need to define anything. We can say checked. Yeah, let's just, we don't really need this, but we can just put it here now. It's fine. We also need a form. This is maintain's form. It's really smart because we don't have to do anything when we use this. I don't know why I would want this. Oh, of course I need. Oh, I actually don't need this. We want to put in some initial values. Let's say the email. We want to be able to save the login. We say the role, let's just say buyer, and we put a password that is empty for now. We can also do something like validate. We want to validate the email, so we say value. I'm going to copy this because it's really weird to type. So it's a test wrong email here. So now we can validate if the email is correct. We just close this now. We want to do a function that handles when we press the create button. We can set rolling button to true. We want to try, let's just console log this for now. Our form values dot role should be our user type. Oh. We say const result await. Then we want to do an access post because we want to post this user to our system. API create user form values. We can set success to status result. If result status is good, we want to do, let's just console logged in. Let's set rolling button false. Let's say sign in. This is the next out function. Yes. With credentials. Email. Form values. Dot email and then password. Form values. Miss this. But where do I need it? I need it here. So what is wrong with this now? Catch are finally expected. Yeah, that's fine. After this, we can do something like set success. We do status, wow, status result.data.status. We want to do the message result data.message. We want to do else console log error. This is not here. Down here, of course. After that we need to do a catch. We want to catch an error. We say console log error set try expected. We have our else. Don't need this. Perfect. So now we want to return. We don't want to return a div. We want to return the transition root. We want the login bar as a fragment. Use state false, const checked, set checked. This one. It's this one, like this. Perfect. Use form is not defined. It's just imported from maintain. Use form no. Expected a string. Transition dialog. But got undefined. You likely forgot to export a component defined as defined anyway. Let's just do a div here to see if okay. So what we want is that when you press this, we want something to pop up so that we can log in with this. But this transition root thing is pretty weird, but I think we're going to use it anyways. We want inside of this, we want a dialog from maintain. We want to do something as a div here. We want to set class name to relative and do the set index of 10. We want to say on close. Set login bar. And then inside of this we want the transition child. Oh. And we want a div inside of this. Check the render method of create account. I have to check if this is correctly. Set login bar. Transition.root. For me it's looking fine. Let's try to put in Is this imported? That's pretty much why we get the error. Oh, it's here. Just import all these. Dialog, transition, fragment, use state, access, setting, use form. That's what we needed. So the fragment is from React, the dialog is from headless UI, that's fine. We can enter leave is in duration 200, leave 2, opacity 0. So let's see now. Still not working. We need to do some stuff on this div. Just make it close itself. We want to be fixed. We want the BG to be gray 500. We want BG opaque 75. We want a transition opacity. Transition child. Subject. Okay. So now we want to do the actual thing inside of this. We want a div. We want this div to have fixed. We want another div. We want to say justify sender. I think it should open now. Let's just try to continue and see. Fixed. We want to do a transition, the child. Inside of this we want to do, first we can pretty much copy this. We want this as a fragment. We want when we enter, we want to ease out. Iteration of 300. We want the opacity 0. Translate Y4. We want to enter 2, leave. So instead of this, we're going to be using a dialog panel. I'm just going to copy it, but you guys can also just copy it from my GitHub. Success status. be right here. And an S. So now when we, let me see, something in the drop down, just says create account. We need to define the we need to do something like on click. And then we open create account. On click like this, set create account, create account. Perfect. These things are written in Danish, but I don't think it's a problem. I don't hope it's a problem because or it's not a problem, it's the same. Your email. It's just your email. Password. Submit, that's fine. Create. And then I also have these panels down here to sign in with Facebook, but we're not going to use this. So you can just remove it from your own project. I want to go back to test. So now we should be able to create an account. Let's try to do it just to test if it works. Test. See the callback. I'm pretty sure I logged in. Yeah, I have my user here. I am not getting the email. So something is wrong in my model. I have a big L here. So now we're actually logged in. So we can go to this one. And we don't want to be able to create another account if we're already logged in. So we now want this code that I wrote before. And let's see, perfect. So now we don't have it. And what we need now is this drop down when we are actually logged in, so we can log out of the system again. I think what we're going to do is just import all of our stuff first. We want the menu, we want button, and we want a divider. This is actually going to be a short code because we don't need much compared to our create account thing. We can just wait with this export default function. drop down logged in. We want props, and then we want to do this. Here we say login bar, set login bar. We want use state props, login bar. Pretty much the same as the last one. We want to do create account, set create account. We want to do the user so we can get our user. We can just console log the user here. Can't resolve maintain core. I think that needs, yeah. So we go into our console. And here is my user, the user that I'm logged in with right now. Yeah, so let's just continue. We want to return a div here. We want this menu from maintain. It's there. We want it to be with arrow. We want the position to be bottom end. Offset 18. Transition rotate right. We want menu dot target we want button IO bar IO menu. It's pretty much the same as the last one. We want this class name to be hover bg white. So now I actually soon should be getting something so that we can see the I actually think we should be getting it now. If user ID is null, we have the normal drop down, and then we have this drop down. So why is it not here? I did something here. React icons. Go to here icons 5. Let's just do anything accessible. Apply just to test. From this, of course. Where is our app? We still don't see it. So what do we need here? We can delete all this. Bars icon drop down, logged in. Oh, here it is, perfect. You are logged in. Log out. To delete this. And we don't have the email because I created an account without an email, so that's my bad. We can delete this dashboard, we keep this login. So now we sign out, we should be able to create another account that actually has a email. See what it says. I still don't have it. I have to. Let me refresh this. Let's just see what it says here. Error query MongoDB Mongo hostname. Just to get used to say if something is wrong here. So now we don't get anything, so we just have this normal one. Let's try to create one. Test. Create. Set status. Result is not defined. Result is not defined, okay. So we now create account. I probably did a spelling error. API create user. Axios. This should be fine though. Let me just try one thing real quick. Result is not defined, okay. That's annoying. Pretty sure it should be defined. It's inside of this. I have my model here. Let me just try to delete this because I did something else. Creating account. Let me see what this is doing. I'm sorry, we have a problem here. And cursor. Is this drop down? There's something wrong with. Not the drop down though. This one. We delete this at least. We also want to delete this values. I think this is working. Refresh this, see what this is saying. Unexpected end of JSON input. I can delete this. Perfect. Perfect, now we're logged in and our email is here. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. So now our session will log us in and we actually logged in as the user that we wanted to. You can see here our email is. And it says here we're logged in. We can also log out again. So now we can create another account. So like this, we can just change this drop down for each user. We could, for example, do something like let's say a dashboard maybe for the logged in user. I should probably create something to log in here. In this one. We're going to do it here before this one. login. Then say on click. Set login bar. What is this? Set login bar. Login bar. Like this, I think. Perfect. So now we can create accounts, and soon we also can log in. So I have created this account now. We need to create this layout for this page, or this pop-up. I think what we're going to do, because it's very similar to this one, so we're just going to copy the code in now, and then you guys can go ahead and find it in the GitHub repository. So you can see here, we press this login, and this is the same thing. Stay. We should probably not. We also want stay logged in, let's just say. So now we can check this and we can stay logged in. We can also forget password, but we didn't build this page yet, so we cannot do it. So now I can't remember which email. I just wrote 1, 2, 3. Let's try to log in. This is just get this away, and now we are actually logged in again. We can log out and we can just do it again. So nice, guys. That's just what we wanted. Yeah. So what's next? I think now we want to do a... Yeah, what do we want? We want something like in my previous video, but we are going to save the house to our database, which we are we're just going to save the house to the database. Hello Aldrin DS, thanks for tuning in. I'm just thinking about what we want to do next, because now we have now we're able to log into our system, and we are able to do pretty much everything we want. So let me just think. I think we are going to create a model for our house. So we create a new model. Let's call it rental model. We want a lot in this. Just let me think what we want. We can just copy this user model and then delete everything inside, and then besides the email we can say rental schema here. We say rental model, and we also say rental model here, and here we say rentals. Rental schema, yes. So here we want to see, we want a price and some images probably also. I think the images is going to be for next video, but we are going to put in the price and the user the price and maybe a category description. Address is pretty useful. And a country. I think that's it for now. Yeah, that's it for now. So how do we want to do this? We want to be able to create a house from when we are logged in. We could also just for now just let me think real quick. What do we want to do first? We want to do I can't really decide right now. We just close these. I think we want to do a page where we create houses. So let's go to pages and create something like create house. In this we're just going to do export default function. Create house. We're going to pass in props. We want to return div, the head from next. Just the standard things. Create a meta title. Oh. Just anything, it doesn't matter. We want icon and then the ref to be our fav icon. So down under this we should we need the navbar, of course, that we created. We need house create, which we didn't create yet, but we're going to create it. So in our components, let's create a folder called house, and then inside of this, let's say house create.js. Let's just put anything in here, not this head, not this navbar. House create, and then we want to import it. We want to go to the site create house, which has nothing right now, but we are going to be putting something into this component. So let me think what we want in here. I think before we return anything, I think we need a form. Let's import use form from Mantine. Inside of this form we want our initial values, which is going to be email, description, and address. Let me just open this model just to compare. I said address. I want a country. And I don't want this. I want the price. We don't need this. Description, price, address, and country. That's good. We want to do the function that creates the house when we press submit. So for this we need to do the router. Maybe that's not important. We can do some. What do we need? I think we can just try to create the function and see what we need. Let's do an async function. Call it create house with the values. We can set loading to true. We need to create this loading. So we say a constant of loading. Set loading. Use state to false. We just type something. Yeah, it's working. So we can just. So I cannot spell. Set loading to true. We want to await Axios. Let's see how we did it in the other one. Create house, create account. Await Axios and then post. Post. Then let's create an API route. Let's say API. We just created while we're talking house. And then just do inside of this, let's do create, and then inside of create, let's create manually. Because at some point maybe you need to create some houses with an API like from another place, then it's a smart idea to like separate it. Hello Tony, I'm from Denmark and I've been coding for like maybe 5 years, but I'm pretty new at the Mern Stack, but I really enjoy it, and it's probably like the easiest thing to use out there. So if you want to, you can just follow along my tutorials, and I'll do a lot of cool applications if anyone wants to like learn and get better at coding. So inside of this we say create, and then the create manually. We want to pass the values also. Then we can pretty much close this. Oh, what did I do? Let's do this a console called result. Await values. Then close it. So I need to open another one. Post, open. I don't need it here. Yeah, so 6 years I have been coding, I think. But I used to code games with C# and Unity. So I'm a bit rusty with this, but I'm learning really fast, and I can pretty much do anything. I'm pretty good with APIs and stuff like that. So yeah, so I learn fast and I do a lot. So const result is going to be the Axios post for the create manually with the values that we pass in. We want now to let's console log the result.data, and then let's do a router. Let's import the router. Probably not like this. We want this use router instead. And then we want to define the router here. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Use router. So here we can say router. And then we just push our result.data URL. We want to catch. Or maybe we don't need to catch. So what did I do here? Const router. I have this weird up here. I should probably make this a try catch block, but I think it's going to work like this. We have here catch the error, because I know it's going to push the URL that I'm going to pass in, so let's just keep it like this for now. And then let's create the API that's going to create the house manually. So we go to our APIs, we go to create manually. And first of all, we can just import the database that we just created. This is going to be a JS file, of course. I don't know why I didn't do that. We import Mongoose. We don't need that. We import the house model that we created from models, house model. We need this up here also. We import this session from the Next.js. Then we say export default async function. Say add house rec res. We await the DB connect. We say const session because we want to be using the request from the session that we are in. And then we try const body rec body. Let's just console log the body here because we want to use it later. That's easier. What's this saying? We need a catch. Yeah, that's fine. We can say the result await new house model, and then we just do these things that we were putting in. I think I called it price. Let's just see what we had. Then we close these again. I actually call it rental model, so I have to change this. House create manually house model. But why am I finding it? Hi?
Mic off. Mic on.
I think we're going to change the name of this. That's probably the fastest fix. I don't know why I messed that up. Inside of this we say house schema. Just close it here. Then export default mongoose models dot house model, and then mongoose dot model house model house schema house. This is better. So now we have the actual model that we're looking for. I don't know why I could even find it when we didn't have it. But that's fine. So we go to create manually, and we say we need a few of these. I think we had 4 or 5 or something. We say description. We say address. We say country. And that's pretty much it. So the only thing we need now is to say that we want to save it. We say rest.json the result, and then we catch errors here. Status error message, something went wrong. And then down here we also want to rest JSON. So I hope this works. Console log body, get session reg. Address, description, price. I think this is fine. So we go back to our create house. We have this function here. which is a bit scuffed, but I think it's fine. Because we don't have anything to catch the error, but I think it's working fine. I'm going to be creating a really simple form that on submit will say form on submit. It will pass in the values and then create house values. In this form we pretty much don't need anything, but I think we're going to create some columns here. We say class name grid, and then give it a gap of 8. I don't know how this is going to look, but let's give it a try. We want the first one here to be a text input. We are using Mantine, so we just put it like this, and then we say label equals the description, and then we can say the form get input equals description. So let's see, here we have the first one. It's just a placeholder also. Oh, it's because I we're just going to make this really simple because we just needed to put in some quick houses so we can test. I just need these 3. We want the address, the country, and the price. So we have these 4 now, and then we need a button to send the request. We just put it here. Let's just do a normal button, type submit, then say class name, just give it some margin and so with full. You can also make the BG blue 500. Then inside of this per se is submit. So here we have this button. I'm pretty sure we can create a house now. Let's just see. If you put something in, this is a cool house. The address is just going to be home. The country is going to be Denmark, and then the price is going to be 100,000. Let's see if I crash. Request failed with status code 400. Let's see if it created anything anyways. Nah, it's my submit. It's pretty fucked. Let me see here. I send it. I did everything right here. This is fine. Yeah, it's just this function, async function. Let's just try to do this because I'm not doing the await actions console log, just anything. Probably not fuck you, just test. Then we create manually the house, create manually with the values, console log create blah blah blah, just form submit values, create house values. Let me try one more time then. Test description. Test address. Denmark. 100,000, something like this. Let's see. I think it created the house. House. Yeah, here is our house. So that's fine now. We are going to go back to this page. We are going to create another API that's called get all houses. We want in get all houses to a function, an async function. Let's just call it get all because we can use it for more stuff. It's going to regress and res. I can't spell, I'm pretty tired. We await the DB connect. We try catch. We try result, await house model. We import this dot find. We res.json result. We res status 400. If we have an error, we say JSON status error. This is fine. So now we go back to our front page where we want to call this function now. Or maybe not in, yeah, okay, yeah, let's just do it on the index page. We say const data houses, use SWR. We do like this and say API house and get all const data. What's the problem here? Const data property destruction pattern. What? Const is this? I think this is the most right thing I've done all day and it's not working. Oh, this needs to be like this. And then we can console log houses. So now we pretty much have everything we need. You can see here we have an array with the house that we just created. So we could create some more houses and this would look the same. But let's just stick to this for now. We go to, what do we do? We just create something in here. Let's say summer, let's say house, card.js. I think we're actually not going to do this. I think we're going to do something else. Just let me think of the smartest way to do it. Because I saw something that we can do yesterday. I saw something really nice. Which I think we are going to be doing for this project. We want to do something like we want to do a component called cards. Let's just create it so we can import it. Just do anything in here, it doesn't matter. Delete this, delete this, delete this, and delete this. Say cards. Then in this cards we want this. We want to import this cards. We want this here. So what's the problem? I did a spelling mistake. Let's see. So what we want is to display our cards here. These cards are actually just going to be really simple. We want to do 2 divs here. We want to do a grid of 3 and then make it a gap of 4. We still want to console log the houses. We don't want to console log the houses in here. Let's create another component called house. Let's just take this with us for now. We just copy this component actually, then say house. So in the house component, we can just delete this and this. We want a div where we put in the let's just see. I want to import this. So what's the problem here? It's me that can't spell. Data houses dot price. I should be able to do this because we only have one house right now. Oh, it's in an array, so we have to do something else. We have to say Okay, first let's just style these because yeah. I think also we're just going to delete. No, we're not going to. Okay, let's just keep this for now. Let's just put something like test in here so we can see it. Up above this we want an image. We want the source to be something locally. Let's just put a house in there. Let's just do this one. So here when I can't see anything. We take this house and put it in our public folder. We want to say, let's just call it house. Perfect. We want the object cover. Just do something like relative. So that's our house. We have a title here. We clean this. We go down here, we say flakes, we say justify between. We say div, we say p. We can give this a class name and say font semi-bold. Then they put something in here. I think this div should be inside. This should be maybe the title or something, where the address or the country or something. Let's say absolute. Text wide. Font bold. Bottom 6 and then text XL. So now it's in here. It's a bit hard to see. Let's make it black. Let's just say Denmark, England. We go here to this one. Put another P. Let's just put test in here also. We don't know what we want yet. We go to this div. We say, okay, we don't need this. So now we have a card, which we're going to map inside of this. So inside of this we say houses, houses.map, house, and then we import the component house, which we already have. And inside of this we want to put the prop. So what we want to do is up here we say props.country. We say props.price. Then maybe, I don't know, I can't remember what we have. Address. Props.address. Price description. We don't need description. It doesn't matter. So inside of this we say props dot, so props dot prop start country equals something like house dot country. It's probably just like this. So it says Denmark, that's nice. Then we want the address to be house.address. And then we also want price. I think we got just moving around on these. And then in the house component, we could probably say something like $, this. So that's the price for our house. So you see, this is really big. It's padding 4. I really want it to be this big, really. I guess here on the index page we can do something like 12 and then give it a padding of try to refresh this. Houses.map. So now it should be good. Let's see. I think there's something wrong with this grid. Padding tab. We just say this is probably just going to be 1. So this is better. So when we have this, we have 1. I want the house to have some kind of padding also. Probably not. Probably up here. Maybe, yeah, 6. So now let's go and create some more houses. Description doesn't matter. We say home, country, India, price, just anything. Submit this. Refresh this page. At mom's house. The country should be America. And the price should be anything also. Colombia. Colombia country. Colombia, Mexico. Price should be 999. 999. Now let's see, let's go back to the front page. Now we are mapping these houses, which we actually just talked about what we want to do. And I think that's pretty cool. What we could do, because now we can just log in and out, but we still see this the same things. I want to give this some margin because it looks really weird. Maybe a bit more. There's also like a background to this. Or what? It's just something I see. Yeah, it's just me. It should also be we need 4 grid colors when we go to this. So when we have the big screen, we have 4 of these. And we could just like make a lot of copies. You see here in our MongoDB database, we have these 4 houses here, and we have my user now. So I think that's pretty much it. I don't really know what else to do for this project, because everything else is just pretty self-explanatory in my opinion. If there's anyone that has any idea on what we can do here, I'm taking requests. We can pretty much do anything. I think this up here we can do so it scales better. Where's the navbar? We want this to be hidden at some point. It's this button, I'm pretty sure. What we do, we just say invisible and then say the small screen we want it to be visible, because we don't really care about it in we do this with some more stuff because it's looking a bit weird. We don't need the date picker on the small screen. Yeah, so it's scaling a bit weird, but I hope everyone gets the idea, and I hope that using MongoDB with this project and doing the API calls from here, I hope everyone understands what I was doing, even though I didn't explain that much. Hopefully we can do another session where I go over each different request or whatever it's called. So thank you very much, guys. I'm sorry for not speaking that much. I'm pretty new to this streaming, and what I really want is someone to ask questions in the comments, which would help a lot. Just started with Mern Stack. We'll definitely watch this again later. Thank you, Aldrin. I hope it will help you. The Mern Stack is perfect. It's really good. I recommend it so much. It's so easy to program with this. You see, I created a login and everything in just a few hours. So this is perfect, and the website is really fast when you're using React and. I did something here. Let me just fix it. I will post this code to GitHub, so you can check it yourself. Where is it? 164. It's because my email didn't exist. It's fine. So 1, 2, 3. That's my code right here. And I log in, and then we have these. You are able to create house. If you go here, create a house. You can of course style this as you want, but it's just so you guys get an idea. But yeah, good luck with the Mern Stack, and hopefully this video helps you, even though it's a bit long. I will post the code on my GitHub and the link in this description. I will do this tomorrow when I upload the video to the real channel. And yeah, thank